Hi everybody, welcome to Dandelion Cottage and Paper Crafting Thursday. I'm Leslie Watkins. I hope everybody's well today. I'm going to be working with the Wild Ferns Bundle and also the 3D Fern embossing folder. I love ferns. Ferns are maybe my most favorite plant. And this has been, it's been very close to my desk for the past several months because I've been wanting to get to it, and today is the day. So I've done a little bit of prep work to help save some time. And what I've done is I've used the 3D embossing folder called Fern to create this vellum window card. Okay, so it looks like that, and it is very, very pretty. And to create this card, I just cut out a window using the deckled rectangles. Okay, so that was my window. And then I just cut a piece of vellum and adhered it around the perimeter using the tear and tape. So that's secured very nicely in there. And actually, if you wanted to make just a super simple, elegant card, I would say that that in and of itself would be wonderful. But I do want to add a little bit more. I want to add some die cuts and a sentiment. The Wild Ferns bundle comes with these stamps and these very beautiful ferns. It has a kind of a burlap textured background stamp, and then it has all these wonderful sentiments. I love this one. Here's to new beginnings, and they're all really nice, but I particularly like that. But this is one of the things that really drew me to the set was the Wild Fern die set, and so you get 13 of them, and among them are these corner dies that have these very, very intricate and decorative detail with the fern motif. You get a couple of little tiny stand-alone sort of fern shapes, and then you have a lot of thinlets or framelets that will cut out the various shapes that you see in the stamps here. I've gone ahead and I've cut out a number of things in different colors of green, and so some of the greens that I'm using today excuse me, are the Mossy Meadow, Old Olive, Granny Apple Green, and Lemon Lime Twist. Okay, so we have a nice assortment of greens. I've just sort of cut these things out in random order. And then I also have, somewhere here, I have a piece of cardstock that I'm going to use inside for the sentiment. And this is the new beige cardstock. So this is one of the brand new colors that we now have in the collection of different colors that will be semi-permanent. I say semi-permanent because they do get swapped out from time to time, but it will be in the regular collection. So one of the things I know I want to do is I want to put a little border around here. So I'm going to go back to my deckled dies. So this one was cut out using the third from the largest. So I'm going to go to the second largest, and that's going to give me a nice border on my, this is going to go on the interior of the card for my sentiment. And I think I'll use the Granny Apple Green for that. So I'm just going to grab my cut and emboss machine. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and see if I can center that on there nicely, because I may be able to use part of the die cut on a different card, or maybe even this card. I don't know. So let me, looks like I'm going to have to trim it a little bit. That looks pretty good. Run that through. If anybody out there is thinking that you might want to get a cut and emboss and cut machine, the price is going to be going up for these machines next month, and so this would be a really good time to get one. And if you're interested in getting one, you will be able to use that in your starter kit, and that would qualify you to become a member of the Dandelion Cottage design team. So if that's something that sounds interesting to you, please let me know and I'll explain all the details to you. You can also go to my website at dandelioncottagedesign.com and click on the Join tab. That will explain all of the benefits of joining the Dandelion Cottage design team and also joining the worldwide family of paper crafters with Stampin' Up. The list is much too long for me to go into here. It's extremely worthwhile. It's definitely worth taking a look at, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have. So just get a hold of me. Let me know, and I will arrange for a quick Zoom with you if you want to look at the screen together with me, or we can just have a really quick chat over the phone. Whatever works for you. So please do that before the beginning of next month when the prices go up. So just keep that in mind. All right, so let's see what we've got here now. I've got my card base. I've got a selection of die cuts. I've got my mat for my sentiment, and that's going to come together something like that. So super pretty. Love the deck. These deckled rectangle dies are a must-have. They add so much to the cards, and if you like watercolor painting and adding your watercolors to your cards, these decal edges look wonderful with the watercolor painting, because it looks like a traditional sheet of watercolor, so it really adds a lot. So this is going to go on the inside, something like this. All right, so what I need to do here is to do my stamping so that I have a nice message and maybe a little decoration. So I like this Here's to New Beginnings, but I'm going to save that for possibly the outside of the card. So let me just grab that. These stamps are brand new. I haven't even used them yet. They're still in their original format with their protection sheet. So I'm just going to peel that off, get a stamp block that will suit that size stamp, and I love this fern. This looks like a lady fern or a, I don't know. I guess it could be several. It could be the bracken that we find alongside the country roads. It's really pretty. And I've got this fern shape that has these fiddleheads on it. That's awesome. So these are the fiddleheads. Okay, this is the other fern. This looks like a Christmas fern. I'm not sure. That looks like a frond from a part of a fern. And I guess we'll use this great big sentiment for the inside of the card. So let me mount that up. And another block. It's also a really, really good time to think about adding to your clear block collection, because some of these blocks are going to be retiring very soon, next month. And also I believe the prices are going to be going up. So, as you can see, it's always good to have extra blocks. Alright, now let's see what color I'm going to use for my ink. I think I'll go with Old Olive. Not too light, not too dark. I'm going to get out my Mossy Meadow just in case. And I'll grab my Granny Apple Green, since I'm in the green section here. Oh, that's shaded spruce. That's not what I'm looking for. What's this one? Oh, that's Evening Evergreen. Okay, so that, as much as I love Evening Evergreen, I'm not going to be using that today. That is one of our retired colors, but I absolutely love it. Get the feathers out of the way. All right, so we're going with Old Olive, and here's my stamp pad. And I'm going to do a test on this. Just want to see what this looks like. I'm going to do a little tone on tone. That looks beautiful. All right. And I'm going to get this sort of situated in the upper right. Okay, so there's my sentiment, and then what I'd like to do is I'd like to add this fiddlehead, I think. And let's see, maybe I'll have it coming in from this angle. Okay, so there is my sentiment, and it's looking very pretty. I may even add a little bit more going off in this direction and make a kind of a sort of a Baroque design. So there's my inner sentiment. I'm going to go ahead and mount that up. I got some sticky on the end of my glue there. Okay. And I see I've got some people out there. So hi Kelly, hey Cookie, and Sandra and Linda. So it looks like people are coming in from all across the country. So that's always exciting. Everybody, if you wouldn't mind, please let us know where you are tuning in from so we can see if we've got any neighbors or friends out there from your locale. That would be fun. All right, so there is my sentiment, and I love that. Zoom you in a little bit. Okay, so that's how that's looking so far. I absolutely love this stamp set and die set. So there we go. Now, when I created the window aperture for the card, I did give myself a teeny bit more on the bottom than the top, just a little bit. Hardly noticeable, but what I do want to make sure of is that I get my sentiment and the mat aligned really well, because you're going to be able to see just the faintest trace of that border all the way around, and I want to make sure that that aligns with the front of the card. So if you're following along, then take your time and make sure you get that lined up very nicely. Now, this is where the beauty of the nested dies come into play. So regardless of what set or what shape you're using, but when you have the nested dies, like the deckled rectangles, they're going to be sized incrementally so that they fit perfectly within one another. And so when you're using something like that, you want to make sure that you got that lined up. I think I can come over here a little bit. And also your liquid glue is your friend here, because it's going to allow you to make all of those infinite little adjustments to get that exactly how you want it. All right, so that's looking really good right now. So I'm just going to give that a good burnish. The burnishing with the bone folder helps to lock that into place so that once that glue is spread out, you're pressing down any kind of lumps, you're making good contact for good adhesion, but it's also sort of like a suction cup almost. It's just locking that into place, and so it's not going to shift on you. So there it is. So I think if you look closely, you can see a little bit of that border and why I wanted to get that lined up with all my corners. And so pretty. Okay, so the card base is the Mossy Meadow, the vellum. By the way, get your vellum. I haven't checked the inventory status to see if we're running out, but this is a retiring product, so you're going to want to get your hands on some vellum if you don't have any in your stash. All right, so there's the inside. Here's the outside. Now let's play with some of these die cuts. So I'm going to move some of these things out of the way. Again, here are the wonderful die sets. So you get these nested labels, 3 of them, awesome. Your framelits, the standalone dies, and these are very cool because they create these corners. So let's see what they'll do for us. Oh, I did want to do one more stamping. Hold on a second. Before I put the stamps and inks away, I want to do Here's to New Beginnings. And I have these sweet little frames that I cut out. The other thing you want to, when you get your stamp case, I'm just eyeballing this to see if this is going to be a good size for that sentiment, but sometimes the illustration on the cover of the stamp case is a percentage of the actual size. It might be a little bit smaller. So in that case, you want to check in this lower right-hand corner to see if you see something that says 95%, 80%, whatever it may be. In this case, it's blank. There is no percentage. So that tells me that these stamps are 100%. So when I look at the cover, that's actually the size that I'm going to be getting when I stamp. So again, I'm going to grab my old olive ink and my stamp pad. Is this a little test? That's looking good. Now excuse me if I get my head in the picture, but I want to get this lined up. Give that a good press. And there's my sentiment. Love that. This would be awesome for a journal. Okay. Now I think I can put the ink away. It's a tight squeeze. All right, so Sandra coming in from California. Here's Cheryl. She's not saying where she's from, but I know where she's from. Cheryl is from Montana. And here's Wendy. Yay, hi Wendy. She's coming in from Illinois. And we've got Linda, Pennsylvania. We've got Kelly in Wisconsin. Cheryl in Georgia. Kit. I think Kit's in Ohio. Tell me if you're from Ohio, Kit. Linda and Linda. Oh, is it Virginia? Is it one of the Carolinas? Oh my gosh. Sandra's California. Oh no, Sandra's Florida. And here's Cookie from Florida. So we've got two people from Florida. Oh wait, Sandra is not from Florida. She's from California. I am such a goofball. All right, sorry. I'm see, you all have to remind me. Otherwise, I can't keep it straight. But how awesome is that everybody's from across the country? I love that so much. Thank you for making those comments. All right, so let's see. Now let's see this beautiful corner design. These are really sort of wonderful, and we can do a couple of different things with them. As you can see, or maybe you can't see, let's make this a little bit bigger. I've gone ahead and I've cut them out of different colors. So I have my old olive, I have my granny apple green, and I have my lemon lime twist. Lemon lime twist is a tongue twister. Is everybody out there trying to say that now along with me? All right. So I also cut a little frame border that I'm going to attach to my sentiment like so. So let's go ahead and get that assembled. Again, I've got a little bit extra on the bottom border than the top, and that's just something that I do a lot because of having paintings framed and matted. Sometimes you want to add a little bit extra to the bottom just to help weight it so that it just makes it look a little more appealing aesthetically. All right, now I'm not getting this straight. Let me try that again. That's better. It's looking pretty good. It's not perfect, but it's close enough. I'm going to show you how that looks. So there it is, and this this little frame has this cute little detail of this sort of dotted edge, so very, very pretty. And these I'll save for a different project. All right, so, and of course, you know, you don't have to use these as is. You can cut them apart, which is probably what I'm going to end up doing. So, and another thing is that if I had thought ahead of time, I could have put this little border, this kind of a support, down under my aperture so that just the ferns would poke up. So we'll see how that goes. Obviously, I've made my aperture so big that to use these within the card frame, I would have to do something like this. Okay, and I may do that because that's actually really pretty. If you were doing a landscape card, you get more of a shape, something like that. So lots to think about. Obviously, I'm already committed to doing a portrait card or a book opening kind of card. But really, what I'm curious to see is the color. And how these all line up. And they are really just so pretty. Just beautiful. And don't forget, we've also got all these extra little bits to fill in areas. So I'm thinking, I want a lot of texture here. So I'm thinking about using the old olive in the background somehow, and then coming in with my granny apple, and then in the foreground adding my lemon lime twist, and then I can have this up here somehow, or down here. What if I raise this up a little bit? Oh, I kind of like that. Okay, all right. I'm going to start gluing things down, and I'm going to be separating some of these fern fronds from the frame. And I think for this I better get my glue mat out. Just going to put a few dots of glue on here. Has anybody seen the precision glue gun? I think that's what it's called. I've actually ordered one. Should be arriving any day. I'm going to take it for a little test ride, see how I like it. But it looks kind of interesting, and I thought that for bigger projects, when you're doing a lot of gluing, like making a box for instance, that it would come in really handy. So I'm going to give it a try, see what I think. Alright, now give that a snip. When you're using your cut and emboss machine to cut out these dies, especially for these very detailed corner dies, you may want to send it through twice. I found that I needed to do that to make sure that I was getting all of the little intricate bits cut out. I just want to make sure that I get this on my I want to get it on top of that mossy meadow border because I love how the shapes look against there. I'm going to go for this great big one. Get that over there. The fern designs are reminding me of coral. They look like a underwater scene to me. Which, when you think about it, if you think about the environments that they typically grow in, the very moist forest floor in the shade, and often near brooks and streams, they're kind of like coral in a way. I want to keep this high because we're going to have lower ones coming into play in a minute. Okay, there we go, and let's see. I've got this one, let's use this up. Yeah, Kit's in Ohio. I got that one right. Now I wonder where Linda's coming in from. Linda, tell me where you're from again, please remind me. I don't think she's too far from where I am because I know her gardening activity is just a little bit ahead of me. So it's a little bit warmer, maybe south of here. All right, and then I have this wonderful curly one that I absolutely love. I'm going to use that up above here. Little fiddlehead. Anybody enjoy eating fiddleheads in the spring? It's almost fiddlehead time. Saute them in butter. Delicious. And so pretty. And Patricia's here. Hi, Patricia. Thanks for joining us. Good to see you. All right, so that's what it's looking like so far. and maybe a little something on the other side. So I've got this sort of matching fern that's a little bit smaller. I just think that this set has been designed particularly well. It's a great set, especially if you like to do botanicals as I do. And of course, you could combine it with all sorts of other floral themed stamps and dies and so forth. It would be really beautiful. So let's just get this up here, a little echo. Okay, so there are my side borders, and I think that's looking pretty good. I want to now switch to my Granny Apple Green and my lemon lime twist. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble saying that today. That's funny. All right, so this time I want to come in a little bit, like so, and I'll zoom you in so you can see a little bit better. You don't have to look at so much of my messy surface here. Almost about halfway through here, I would say, or a little, well, better than halfway. Oh, and here's Bev. Looks like we've got a lot of folks here today. That's great. There we go. Get some glue on here. It's so nice to have such a diverse assortment of shapes, and that they're all kind of shaped in those sort of curvy, rhythmic motifs. Makes it even better. A lot of fun to work with. Okay, I'm going to put this one right in the middle area. And this one too. Okay, and then let's see how these are looking. I like this one a lot. I'm going to go ahead and flip that one out. My peonies are starting to come up. In the warmer, sunnier places, they're taller. Some of them are about 6 inches high. We started getting out the peony cages, and looks like they're coming on fast. It's gonna be spring, full-blown spring here before we know it. Let's grab this one, put it on the other side. But I haven't noticed the ferns yet, but they, I haven't looked. So there's a pretty good chance that they're doing something and I just haven't noticed yet. I've been so busy with the magnolias, the daffodils, the forsythia, all the bulbs like the scilla, and I don't think I've seen any crocuses yet. We've got some other really cute little bulbs. Alright, so we're getting kind of filled up here. I'm going to need something in the middle, but I just want to see how this is looking, and it's looking really pretty. What do I want here? I think I'm going to go with this one. It's so great to have these die cuts ready to go. So, you know, even if you know you're not going to use them all, but, you know, get your your cardstock scraps out and just go ahead and make a nice assortment of die cuts so that when the time comes to put them down, you're all set to go. You have a beautiful assortment and nice options. Always like to have lots of options because you never know. You may change your mind midway through. Alright, so the top of that's looking pretty good. Now what I want to do is I have all these little bits which are these kind of standalone dies. So let me get these over here so you can see them. They look something like this. And I'm thinking to have them, ooh, you know what I want to do is I want to add a couple to my sentiment. That is so pretty. Oh my gosh. Alright, getting excited here. I just have to see where the glue has to go. Alright, so keeping it on the inside. Okay, and then of course we're going to need some on the other corner. Maybe something like that. I know it's a little bit fussy, but it's so worth it when you see how pretty this is. Okay, and then what does this look like? I think that's pretty good there. Just fussing now. Okay, and the last question is whether or not I actually want to put anything down here, or is that going to be just too busy? Maybe not. I think I'll add these two coming up, but you know what I'm going to do? Before I do that, I'm going to pop up my sentiment with dimensionals. Let's see, those are all minis. I need a standard. Those are black. Here we go. Sandra says, yes, add. I'm going to, don't worry, I'm going to get it in there. But first, we have to pop this up. So let's put, I'm gonna put a bunch. Get 4 of them on there. You know, it would be really pretty with this too. That that dragonfly and the punch would be really, really pretty coming in like that. All right, so is that straight? Not quite. Straight enough though. I think the bottom is a little crooked. That's good enough. Okay, so there we are with that. And then let's say what color. Not that. That. That's the one. I think this one. All right, so this I have to be pretty careful with, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to have these fern shapes jump up from the bottom up to the popped up. So they're going to be secured at 2 different levels. So in the bottom bits there, and then a little bit on the top, and I'm going to leave a space in between where they're going to be sort of suspended. Whoa, oops, uh-oh. All right. And come in like so on the bottom. Hold that in place for just a minute. That looks really sweet. And then this one. Same deal, but I'm going to have to trim this a little bit. So I'm going to take it from there. The that precision glue tool, the reason why it's so interesting, and I'm going to go over this with you next week when I get mine, is that you store it upside down so that the nozzle is in contact with a like a little silicone pad. Oh, I forgot to take the glue off of there. With a little silicone pad, so that you don't have to keep putting your glue tip or top back on your bottle. The silicone pad keeps the air from getting into your glue bottle. So that's why it's so interesting. So I'm going to check that out. All right, now we've got one more spot. That would be pretty. Let's try this one. That would be really nice. I'm going to go with that one, even though it's a repeat of the one above it. Well, okay, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to add 2 more. So I like having this color over in that corner. So I'm going to add this to the base. because it's so pretty and it helps to pull everything together. And then maybe I'll go in the other direction. Let's see, like this one, like so. That looks good. Okay, so I'm just going to add a little bit of glue here and here. And I don't know if this is going to hold, but we'll give it a try. Happy to have my tweezers for this job. Sandra says, I love all the detail you put into your work. Well, you know, I don't always do a lot of detail. Sometimes it's just, you know, sometimes simple is best. But I get excited when I have all these wonderful little things that are designed so beautifully and feature a motif that I love, like the ferns. So I get excited and inspired, and I'm a firm believer that you know, details matter. It just that's part of the craftsmanship, any kind of craftsmanship, whether it's carpentry or painting or paper crafting, whatever the discipline may be. Those little details show. People notice them. It doesn't go unseen. So yeah, I'm into details, but not always. Sometimes you just want something simple and elegant. Okay, I need another little shot of that lemon lime twist over on the other side here. So I'm just going to tuck this in, and then I think we're done. I will decide later if I want to add any other kinds of embellishment. I think I kind of like having the die shapes do all the heavy lifting here, but we'll see. Jury's out on that. Get that tucked under there, like so. Okay, everybody, there is my card. Let me clear the deck here so you can see better. Didn't do an envelope. Oops. Got it. Do I have? That's a good question. Is there the what do we call this? Basic beige. I wonder if I ordered and if I have, and if there are basic beige envelopes. I'll have to check. If I find I have them, I just can't remember. So many new things. I will stamp an envelope to match. But there's the card for today. I love it. I hope you like it too. I hope you're inspired. There's the sentiment. So it says, here's to new beginnings on the outside. Wishing you well today, tomorrow, and every day that follows, with the fiddlehead ferns and the fancy vellum window. Really sweet. If you decide to use this awesome bundle, and let's find it. The Wild Fern Bundle. Please share what you do in the group on the private Facebook page. Something old, something new, or Dandy's Paper Pals, whichever you prefer. I'd love to see what you do because I think this is a keeper. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Stay well, stay creative, stay happy, and I will see you next time.